Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that be linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Bit of a surprise one right out of the blue yesterday when Arsenal were linked with David Raya of Brentford. The Brentford goalkeeper, 27 years of age, not previously linked with Arsenal this transfer window. But I remember just before Arsenal signed Aaron Ramsdale, I remember us being heavily linked with David Raya. Um, we were apparently putting a bid of around about £10 million for him at that time, and that was rejected by Brentford. At that time, he still had quite a long-term contract, and we ended up getting Aaron Ramsdale, moved on, also got Matt Turner as a number 2, and seemingly that's the end of it, right? But David Ornstein of The Athletic yesterday tweeted out exclusively that Arsenal are exploring a deal to bring in David Raya at Arsenal. Now, I must admit, when I saw this came as a bit of a shock for me. I know that obviously he's available this transfer window. He's only got 1 year left on his contract. He wants to move. He wants to, play at a higher level than Brentford. He was previously linked with Tottenham. They were looking for a goalkeeper, of course, to replace Lloris, but they ended up going in a different direction because of the asking fee that Brentford were looking for. Bayern Munich, who were looking for a goalkeeper as well, have been very, very heavily linked with David Raya, but their offers have been turned down so far by Brentford. Bayern Munich wanting to sort of do a loan deal, plus with an option to buy, which has been turned down. And now Arsenal have entered the fray. They have inquired about David Raya, how much it would cost, etc., and exploring a deal to bring him in at Arsenal. Now, he's only got 1 year left on his contract. This seems to be the real sticking point. 1 year left. However, Brentford are looking for £40 million for him. And this is what's been turning off a lot of teams. Manchester United previously looked at him as well, but they've all been turned off by that fee. A goalkeeper for 40 million with 1 year left on his contract. Brentford just ain't going to get that. I don't care what they're saying, that they're not going to get that. And then they run the risk of Raya being able to walk away at the end of his contract for nothing. They want him to leave. They want to get the money for him. Even Thomas Frank, their manager, when he was being asked about it yesterday, said that, listen, we know that he wants to leave and we want to get the money for him so we can move on. However, the money they are demanding at the moment is a bit ridiculous. But can a deal be struck with Arsenal for David Raya to come to the club? And if he comes, what does that do for the dynamic of the goalkeepers there? I mean, Aaron Ramsdale's been the undisputed number 1 at Arsenal. The fans love him. The managers seemingly love him. But it looks like Mikel Arteta's being ruthless here as to say, well, listen, Aaron, you'd have to be on your toes there. This guy is a bit better than your average number 2. If he came in as a number 2, he's a great shot stopper. I think he pulled off some of the most saves last year in the Premier League. His distribution is brilliant, really a good distributor of the ball. And he would offer serious competition to Aaron Ramsdale. And at the end of the day, if you're going to win titles, if you're going to be up there, that's what you want. That's what you want. Serious competition. So let's keep an eye on this one. This is serious. Arsenal are interested in Raya. Doesn't say they're going to get him, but there is an interest in David Raya. Will they move for the Spanish international? Going to be a real interesting one to see. As I said, came right out of the blue. I wasn't really expecting this one. I was even looking at it and saying, do we actually need a goalkeeper? Is that a priority area? There's other areas that need filling. And as I said, Raya would be very expensive. But let's see how this one turns out. And if he does come, what does that do for Matt Turner? Matt Turner, at the moment, the number two goalkeeper, should I say, at Arsenal, only played 7 games last season. So not a lot of football for Matt Turner. He even admitted the other day in an interview that he was kind of surprised that he's played so few games, but he knows his position. He knows that Aaron Ramsdale's the number 1. He's fighting to get into that position. And Matt Turner is a very good goalkeeper. American international. Recently won the Gold Cup with the USA, and in that he was excellent in the penalty shootouts. He really is. He's an excellent penalty saver. A lot better than Ramsdale when it comes to that. But Aaron Ramsdale is the number one, and if Raya comes in, that pushes Matt Turner further down the pecking order. And for a guy who's already saying that he's getting limited game time, he's going to want to move on. Now, he's been heavily linked with a move to Nottingham Forest. Now, Nottingham Forest are looking for a keeper. They had Keylor Navas on loan last season, but he's gone back. They, of course, had Dean Henderson, who was on loan from Manchester United, and they've said to be interested in getting Henderson from Manchester United, but they've also inquired to Arsenal about the availability of Matt Turner. As I said, Turner is a USA international, 29, so still young for a goalkeeper, and valued at around about £8 million. Although I'm sure Arsenal, if they were to move for Raya as well, would be looking for more money for Matt Turner. Turner, as I said, for me, a decent backup. We've not really seen him for a sustained period, though, in the Arsenal team. And does his distribution match that of what Mikel Arteta is looking to do? We know that Matt Turner, when he first came in at Arsenal, said, listen, distribution is something that I need to work on. So is that why, Arteta would like to bring in somebody like a Raya? Matt Turner, if he got a move to Forest, he would be number one at Forest, who play week in, week out, and that'd be a great move for him. But what sort of money would Arsenal demand for Matt Turner? At the moment, he's valued at around about £8 million. We paid about £6 million for him. I know a lot of that valuation is to do with the fact that he's hardly played for Arsenal, but he is a USA international. He is their number one. They've got the World Cup coming up over there in a few years' time. He's going to want to be playing as a regular before that. Could Matt Turner move to Nottingham Forest, and how much should Arsenal demand for him? I reckon it's got to be in a region of at least £15 million for Matt Turner. He's still got a long-term contract at Arsenal as well. So let's see how that one works out. Now, this next player has been linked with Arsenal, right? This pronunciation always does me. Kvaratskhelia. I hope I pronounced it right. Probably not. But he's a Georgian international, and he's a simply world-class player. One of the reasons why Napoli won the Serie A last year over there in Italy. He is an excellent, excellent footballer. Plays predominantly as a left winger. And Football Transfers today, they claim that Arsenal are interested in signing the Napoli star. Now, listen, this would be a great addition to the team. For me, I watched a lot of him last year playing for Napoli. World-class player. Had an absolutely brilliant season for Napoli. One of the big reasons, as I said, why they won the league. And Football Transfers are claiming that Arsenal have got a very good relationship with the sporting director of Napoli. His name is Mauro Meluso, the same guy who recommended Jakub Kivior to Arsenal when he was at Spezia. Now, they're claiming that Arsenal are interested in signing him, but how much would a deal like this cost? I mean, Kvaratskhelia is valued at around about £85 million, right? And we know that Napoli's president is notorious for wanting a lot of money for players. And why wouldn't he want a lot of money for this player? He's, as I said, he's a world-class player. Most of the big clubs around Europe are interested in him, and why wouldn't you be when you got a player of that quality? There is a rumor that Napoli would be willing to sell him because they know that they're going to lose either him or Osimhen. They want to hold on to Victor Osimhen at all costs, so they don't want to sell Osimhen. So maybe one of them out of the two of them will go, and it would be Kvaratskhelia, and he could go if the right bid comes in. But I suggest that something in the region of about 100 million would be required to get a player like this over to Arsenal. And would that be a good use of money, especially, again, the left wing? I think we're all right in that position. We're more than all right in that position. Gabriel Martinelli, absolutely brilliant player. He's got to be valued up in them sort of regions himself. A brilliant, brilliant player. Key to Arsenal last season. And also you've got Leandro Trossard, who's also can come in on the left wing, and as we've seen even in pre-season, is an excellent player. So how would it make sense to go and spend so much money on this player? I mean, he's world class, as I said, but I can't see it. But it is a rumor that is out there today. And the Mohamed Kudus one, that continues. Arsenal still said to be very interested in Kudus. CBS journalist Ben Jacobs, he's saying, though, that Arsenal looking to offload players first before they get a deal done for him. Chelsea still said to be the front runners. But as I said on yesterday's show, Sven Mislintat, who used to be, of course, at Arsenal doing the signings, he's at Ajax now. Could that be the key to getting a deal done with Ajax? Who knows? The normal key is money, and that's what's going to get it done. Just before we go there, let me read a few comments from yesterday. I asked you guys, I was asking that question yesterday about Balogun, if Rasmus Højlund, who's going to Manchester United for a reported £73 million when you include all the add-ons, if he's going for that sort of money, what is Balogun worth? That was the question I was asking yesterday. This guy here, SW3D, says spot on regarding Balogun, Robbie. Get paid handsomely for him. Regarding the Mbappe loan, remember I spoke about that as well. Would you loan Mbappe for a year? He says, yes, all day, even if it's only for one season. But also because what if he falls in love with a club like Odegaard did? And I would play him as a number 9 if he comes. Imagine Martinelli, Mbappe, and Saka up top. Ooh, that'd be good. This guy here, Viz N7, says, keep Balogun and sell Eddie. Mohammed Suleiman says, Balogun is worth more than Højlund. He should be sold for around about 80 million. But would love Balogun to stay at Arsenal and play the guy over Eddie Nketiah. A lot of you seem to be saying that yesterday. That seemed to be the theme, that you'd rather see him than Eddie Nketiah. The Vlad Scots, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's really difficult to pronounce these words here. He says the real question should be asking is, does Eddie Nketiah deserve 100? You put 100 million pound per week, not quite that, and this has gone to Saudi Arabia. 100k a week, he must mean. Does he deserve that? And this one from AS, he says, the only way you get that type of money for Balogun is if you sell him to another big Premier League club. Nobody in Serie A is paying anything more than around 25 to 30 million pounds for him. Italian clubs are broke. Atalanta robbed Manchester United blind. And he's not wrong there when he's saying that the clubs in Italy just don't have that sort of money, what the Premier League clubs have. But still, if you want Balogun, you're going to have to cough up the right amount of money. That's what I think. Otherwise, Arsenal shouldn't sell. So, again, putting that one out to you guys. What do you think? And also, I want to find out from you guys, do we need a goalkeeper? Do we need another goalkeeper? Should we be outlaying a lot of money on David Raya? Or do we just stick to what we've got with Matt Turner and maybe use that money elsewhere? Use that money on a Kudus. Would love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching the show, and I'll be back tomorrow. Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.